Great game by KU. They have a tremendous football team that are resilient. They have a wonderful coach. Let's close that door. Let's do something so it's not distracting. There we go. Thank you. Wonderful coach who is one of my favorites in the Big 12. I feel as though we have a tremendous relationship. He checked on me when nobody was. We exchanged pleasantries before the game, and I told him that his team is resilient. They're a reflection of who he is. They fight to the end. They're very physical. They're tough. They're tenacious. They ran the heck out of the football, which we couldn't stop, period, today. We started smelling ourselves a little bit. That's what I just told our team. We got intoxicated with the success. We got intoxicated with the multitude of articles and the assumption that we're this and the assumption that we're that, and we did not play CU football. Therefore, we got our butts kicked. It is what it is. Let's go.
Nikki, go ahead.
Hey, Coach.
How you doing?
Good. Nikki Edwards, CU Sports Report. You mentioned the efficiency on stopping the run tonight.
Right.
What was kind of the mood on the sideline of trying to get it right but not quite?
The move was let's stop the run. We got to do something. We got to stop. They didn't punt one time. I think during their 331 yards rushing, it was alarming. You can't win when a team is rushed for 331 yards on you. That's not indicative of who we've been and who we are. That is certainly not who we are, and we could not stop the bleeding. We tried consistently, but we could not stop the bleeding. That's hats off to them. They were physical. They out-physicaled us. They outplayed us. They wanted it a lot more than we did.
Adam, go ahead.
Missed tackles, how much did
Much
that
as-
surprise you? That obviously wasn't something that you...
No, that's not nothing that we do. That's not our identity. We usually get to the ball at an alarming rate, and we're very physical when we get there. The first screen pass that went for a touchdown, I believe it was like 51 yards. I was like, oh, Lord, here we go. Here we go with the dumb stuff. That's not who we are. When that happens, you know we on some dumb stuff today. And we got to do better. We got to do better. We got to do a better job as coaches. We got to do a better job as players. We just got to do a better job, period.
Dennis, go ahead.
Deion, all your goals are still in front of you.
Yes, sir.
It's going to be a little harder now.
Yes, sir.
When do you relay that to the team?
I already did. Already did. Trust me. We just did. When you're in control of your own destiny, it's a phenomenal thing. I don't just think about football. I think about life. So the message to these young men is if God were to grant you every darn thing you needed in life, all the ability, the thought process, the connections, the visuals, and you don't do nothing with it, that's on you. And that's what we are. We control our own destiny, and we fumbled it.
Brian, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. Brian Howell.
Yes, sir.
Cameron, you guys have been the more physical team for several
Yeah.
weeks now.
Yeah.
Today, obviously, they were. What did you feel like? What was the difference there? Why were they more physical than you?
Yeah, they just they wanted it more. We were smelling ourselves. They wanted it more, and that's on me. I can't let a team that I coach start feeling themselves. Can't do that.
Matt, go ahead.
Slow starts, another kind of issue for the offense.
Yeah.
I mean, I figured if you wouldn't have had an answer, you probably would have fixed it at this point. Is it frustrating for you?
Well, 21 points in 19 minutes of possession. I'm pretty good with that. I think I'll take that. We got to do better defensively. That was not the offense today. I understand what you're saying, but we got to do better defensively. They didn't punt one time. No.
Michael, go ahead.
Really well in the first half.
Yeah.
How's he doing?
He's good. I mean, he's been hit his whole life, man. I mean, this kid is tough. He's one of the toughest young football players that I've ever seen.
Hey, Coach, Jalen Weissett. For the last 2 weeks, Draylon Miller has done a really good job of
Yes, sir.
filling that empty spot of Jimmy Horn Jr. What would you say about his performance today?
He's phenomenal. I mean, especially a freshman. The game is these magnitudes, and he's showing up and showing out. The moment is not too big for him. He plays hard. He practices hard. He's smart. Don't make many mental errors. I love the kid, man. I mean, we want to recruit more of those type of young men.
Eric, go ahead.
When a team doesn't perform to what's indicative of who they've been, how do you handle that moving forward?
That's practice. That's a tremendous thought process, which I will have from right now all the way until we land, and probably all day tomorrow, because it's hard for me to flush things. I carry them because I'm a perfectionist. I try to see what's the problem and then administer to the problem and hopefully provoke change within the problem. That's not who we are. Truly not who we are, especially defensively.
Troy, go ahead.
Especially defensively. Yes, sir.
Coach, the team's done a remarkable job of making second half adjustments
Mhm.
defensively. Was it just Neal being that good, or the adjustments didn't take?
No. Rob called a good game, man. We got to do what he called. You know, we got to do what he called. He called a pretty good game. I mean, I'm hearing this stuff and I'm seeing what's supposed to transpire and it never did. They didn't punt, man. Like he called a pretty good game.
Mark, go ahead.
You mentioned gotten intoxicated with yourself, or
Yeah.
being with yourself. It's easy for all of us in retrospect.
I didn't say me.
No,
You kind of said, like, the way you said it, it sounded different, like yourself.
No. You're
Yeah.
players.
Okay, there you go. There you go.
That's easy in retrospect.
Yes, sir.
You see it
Yes, sir.
coming.
Yes, sir.
You-
Well, we try to handle it in the meetings. We handle it tremendously. You know, some folks you can't put behind microphones and you can't give them podcasts. You can't do that because they get intoxicated with the success, and you know who that is. So you try your best to eliminate that. But they can't stop reading the stuff about who we are. That's a little tough. So you try to humble everything around you, and including yourself. You try your best to do such because you know what you have in the locker room. I know my kids, man. I know all of them.
And I asked you a week or so ago.
Yes, sir.
How hard it is to handle success. especially
Well,
with
I mean, you talking about the kids? You talking about?
kids.
Yeah, that's tough. All of them are different, man. Some are different. Like Travis handles it pretty darn well. You know, LeJontay, Will, some of the other guys do. Some guys don't. I mean, some of the guys that really never gotten it, but now they're getting it. That's intoxicating to them. Attention is intoxicating to some people.
Brian,
We gotta fix that. That's on me. I gotta fix that.
Brian, go ahead.
Coach, last time you guys looked like this was probably the first half of Nebraska.
Right.
Probably the only other time you played this.
Right.
You responded really well from that. Does that give you confidence as a coach, knowing that these guys can respond to something like that?
I never give up, Brian. I never do. Until that last second ticked off the clock of when I knew they were going into the kneeling, that's when I knew it was over. But I never give up on these young men because I know we have the propensity to come back, given the time frame on the score clock. But that's just wasn't us today, man. Make no bones about it. They forced us into some situations that were tremendous. They did a great job. They had some trickery involved in certain things, and the timing of them were impeccable. We just didn't do our job. We didn't do it.
Follow, because
Mhm.
I didn't ask it correctly, but I meant like after this week. You guys bounced back so well from Nebraska.
Well, I pray
Do you feel
so.
confident going forward?
I'm always confident, so I'm never unconfident. I know what we have in that locker room. I trust those young men to do what they need to do to recover. And it's a terrible feeling. You got to understand. I just saw their faces. It's a terrible feeling. It's a terrible sentiment. It's a terrible mood. They're not happy with themselves. Now they got to go read about it and hear about it and think about it. But sometimes it's the best thing to happen to people. Like after the Nebraska thing, I think that was a blessing in disguise to us, truly.
Coach, you guys are at about 25% on third down the last 3 games, even with the 2 wins.
Yeah.
Texas Tech and Utah. What's being done going forward to kind of address that, keep the punts off the field?
If I knew we would have done it today. Trust me, that's on me. We'll get it together. We'll look better next week, I promise you. Much better.
Coach, I think they had almost 200 yards on first down plays today. I mean, just how difficult is that for defense when they're consistently getting 3, 4, 5 yards at a clip and just putting you guys in that third and manageable?
Well, that's tough on the coordinator. It's not like we didn't know what they were going to do. I mean, every play that was called, I mean, you could hear it in the headset. You know what was coming. We just got to take care of it. We just got to do a better job in preventing it, and we did not do that today.
Couple more, Troy, go ahead.
Coach, now you guys have a short week playing on Friday instead of Saturday after this tough loss. Does the message change in preparation going into that final?
No, we're thankful that we have one less day. Pretty much, we're thankful because now you just get, you got to flush it and get it on, and let's go to the next window. The thing about this week is you got to really guard the young men's minds because family comes in town and friends and loved one comes in town, and you got to keep them focused. Then you got the other team leaving away from their family, friends, and loved ones, and they're coming to be spoilers. So you got to refocus your young men and let them understand that this is not about turkey and dumplings and applesauce or whatever you have. Cranberry sauce, I'm sorry, not applesauce. It's not about that. It's about football, man.
Coach, you mentioned your relationship with Coach Lightfall. You're both building programs from the ground up. What are some of the things that he shared with you?
His just optimism, his passion for the game. He's always positive, man. I've never talked to him and he was not positive. I mean, this is on the brink when them starting out bad as well. He was focusing on me and making sure I'm okay, and making sure he's okay. He's a stand-up guy, great young man. Young man.
Okay, go ahead.
Coach, Philip Houston left the game late.
Yeah.
Update on his status?
Well, we're hoping he didn't tear ACL. That's what we thought. That's what they're thinking right now. I'm hoping that's not the case. But thank God we have depth. We have tremendous depth on the offensive line.
Anything else for Coach?
Hey, thank you all.
Thanks.
God bless you.
It's real short.
I'm not getting it.